morning, beloveds. Starting with the glasses. I'll put them back on in just a minute. So I discovered that the heating pad for my cats was upside down. And so Foster is very happy. And so I came into the room and he was Loaf Cat. And so he's a black cat, right? And he's got green eyes. And I come in and there's this little pink spot. And I was like, he's got his tongue stuck out. And of course, before I could get my camera down where I could get a picture of him, what I like to call a derp, he sucked it back in his mouth. So, yeah, cats. But he's very happy and splayed out on that heating pad. I just need the little old lady to discover that it's in here. But I don't think she will until I bring the stool back, and that's 2 more weeks. Yeah, 2 weekends left of the Texas Renaissance Festival, and then I sort of get my Saturdays back. All right, it is November 14th. Our title is I Am God's Perfect Life. Our first quote is, "In the way of righteousness is life, and in the pathway thereof there is no death." And that is Proverbs 12:28. The second quote is, "The truth is eternal, and eternity is timeless. Hence, if one knows the truth, they will never see death." And that is The Science of Mind, page 478. A person who sees that God is life will never fear death. They will know that God cannot cease to be. They will know that life, which is self-existent, cannot contain its own annihilation. How shall a person see that this is the truth? Fortunately, the very best evidence is in the person themselves. There is no one to disprove it. They live, and they know that they live, and they know that they are something more than just that which lies between their hat and their bootstraps. Interesting quote. As Whitman said, they know that life proves itself in its consciousness, and they know that their body is not the thing that is conscious. Therefore, something is in them which is more than the body, although expressing within the body. We should develop this awareness that something within, something in the universe itself, that is greater than we are. We should contemplate this idea until we break through the barrier of materialism and make our own personal discovery of God. I fear nothing, for I believe that God is forever in me, my life, my strength, my soul. I know that my body is but a temple of the Spirit, and that God is the Spirit. The body is not, and never was, the person. God is the person. Life is an absolute principle and cannot contain its own contradiction. Therefore, I know that there is no death. Though outer forms change, spirit does not change. Daily I affirm my faith in that which is greater than I am. God is life, and God lives in me. And that is C.C. Craig Carter. Okay. When I was in ministerial school, I took a class from Christian de Quincy. And right now I cannot remember the name of the class. But the point of the class was exactly that. It was about consciousness. Consciousness is one of the drum beats of Science of Mind, because it's all about being conscious. It is about being conscious of the life. It is being conscious of where we come from. It is being conscious about what we do. It is being conscious about what we feel. It is being conscious about what is around us. And it is being conscious of the living things around us, the living beings around us. Not just the human ones that talk to us, but all of life. And in this class with Christian de Quincy, and the advice that I give everybody when they take this class is buy in. Leave what you believe at the door when you step into that class. Buy all the way in to what it is that he is selling you. And then when you get finished with the class, then you can drop at the door what doesn't make sense to you, what you can't believe, what you can't carry forward. But for the purposes of the class, buy all the way in. And it's crazy. I mean, it was one of those classes that that and quantum physics that just makes your mind spin. And it's talking about consciousness going all the way down. And it's kind of like that DNA. Every single cell in your body contains all of the DNA that from one single cell, they could recreate your body. The problem with recreating your body is the DNA doesn't hold the soul. Okay? Consciousness goes all the way down to the DNA in your cells, but it's not held there. So we could recreate your body, but we can't recreate your soul. Okay? But we don't have to, because your soul exists outside of the DNA. The consciousness exists outside of the DNA. It's that mind-blowing moment when you become aware of the thinker back of the thinking. When you become aware of the observer, when you become aware of the watcher, when you become aware that this, what you can touch, is material, but the youest you of all, pardon me while I turn into Dr. Seuss, is more than that. So it's like consciousness goes all the, but then, and so in De Quincey's class, we can talk about the consciousness of a rock. Okay. And he makes a point between aggregate consciousness and I forget what the other term is, and I'll get them confused, so I'm not going to go there. But basically, in his class, a rock is conscious, but the problem is each single individual atom, parts of the atom, is conscious, but it's not aggregated together. Or I think that's what it is. It's aggregated together. It's not one single system. So while the rock is conscious, it's a lot of little consciousness together. Whereas what we are is we're all one consciousness. So every single cell in our body contains the same consciousness. But if we recreate the body, so that means when we shed this body, the consciousness is one whole unit that will go, we don't know where, but it's more than the body that it wears. Your consciousness is more than the body it wears, even though every single cell in your body holds that consciousness. So, and if you think too hard about it, it just blows your mind. It blows your mind. And so that's one of those mind-numbing things where, all right, and so what Craig wants you to do is to become aware of the thinker who is doing the thinking, not the body. Because scientists understand and know that the brain does not hold the consciousness, but they can't tell you where the consciousness is held. That's why that's why I mentioned De Quincey, because according to De Quincey, every single cell in your body holds your consciousness, but it doesn't contain your consciousness. And that's the difference. It holds your consciousness, but it doesn't contain your consciousness, because your consciousness is bigger than your body. That's how we can reach out and touch each other's consciousnesses. How we can touch each other's spirits and souls. Because while your body holds the consciousness, it doesn't contain it. And it's a huge difference. And a little difference. And it will make you, it's like quantum physics. It kind of rocks you back on your heels and you're like, wait, what? Yeah. And that's what the amazing part of Science of Mind is. Science of Mind says, hey, you're going to have experiences that can't be explained. And we get that. So come and be with us while we all have these mystical experiences, and we'll talk about the consciousness, even if we can't explain the the experiences we have, because those experiences point to something bigger than we are. So I'm going to go back to that. Every single cell in your body holds your consciousness, but does it contain it? All right. You are bigger than your body. You're bigger than your body. So he gives you a pretty clear mission. That last sentence, or that last paragraph, we should develop this awareness of something within, something in the universe itself that is greater than we are. We should contemplate this idea until we break through the barrier of materialism and make our own personal discovery of God. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, it's to contemplate that which is bigger than us, that whole system of life, that patterning intelligence that created the material world, but is not contained by the material world, because it contains the material world and it contains us. And he makes his argument about how we can prove that there's no death. Take that into contemplation for you. Take that into meditation. Take that in and look up Christian De Quincey and see if he doesn't blow your mind a couple of times. His book, which is a collection of articles, and I want to call it Blink, and I know it's not Blink because I'm trying to look at the title in my and it's a what if book, and he's like, it's just a series of articles, and it's one of my favorite books ever, even though it makes me absolutely crazy. So, because he's like, well, have you thought about it this way? Well, no, not until you mentioned it, and now what? So, all right. So you have your mission today. Contemplate that which is bigger than the material realm until we can break through that materialism. The other mission is the same one I give you every day, which is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever it looks like, big, small, doesn't matter. The point is to do it. It is important to have a couple of different spiritual practices that you do. And this one can be very, very short. It can be simply a deep breath before you speak. It can also be taking a walk, taking a nap. It is definitely about self-care, and it is also about making room in your life for joy. Because sometimes it's about eating dessert first, and sometimes it's about meeting your friend for coffee. And sometimes it is about, making that effort to catch that dirt picture with your fur baby. Something that will bring joy. Practice on yourself. 1, you are your best subject. You can test that every day. And 2, you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. All right. That is why I say that every day. 1, you are your best subject. And 2, you deserve loving, kind compassion, especially from yourself. All right. Then all the usual things, which is, do something to engage your mind and your body. It was too cold to go for a bike ride, so we went for a walk. It was nice. And cold. And then I got hot because I had too many layers on. I overestimated my tolerance for the cold. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Hydrate. Hydration is super important, especially in the cooler temperatures, because we don't tend to hydrate as well. And then we end up dehydrated, and then we run our heat, and then we wonder why, our skin is dry and itchy. Hydration. Okay. And then early in your day, bright light, that will help reset your hormones and all of that. Because that's why I was like, oh yeah, it's bright light. Because it's going to rain today. It's going to be cold and wet. Oh, my least favorite, maybe. Yeah. Weather, but still, it can be good. I like cold and wet when I can curl up with a good book. I'm going to work today, so cold and wet is not my favorite. All right. And then, in the words of Ernest Holmes, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. And considering the exercise that I'm asking you to do, opening the windows of your soul is part of that exercise. It is about recognizing that you are so much more than the body that you wear. It is. It is about understanding that while your body holds your consciousness temporarily, It doesn't contain it. You are more than you seem. We are all more than we seem. Every living thing is more than it seems. A tree is not just a tree, even while it's being a tree. Okay? When you realize that trees talk to each other, that's where you kind of go, whoa, there's so much more to this world than we are aware of. That's the mission. And when you open the windows of your soul, you'll see beyond that. You will start to contemplate the unseen in a way that you hadn't before. Consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. That's Ernest Holmes in a nutshell. Consciousness. Be conscious, be aware, and keep learning. Okay. And then you can always take Emma's advice in that about opening the windows of your soul. Look for the good and praise it. All right. So here is the social media part, which is where I say we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the Running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. And, there was follow upwards to that, and I don't know what they are. So if you want to know what's going on with the center, the biggest thing we've got coming up outside of book studies, which are always going on, and you can drop in and out of those. And there's a visioning class. I don't know if it's started yet, but soon. If it's only 1 week, if it's already started, but it's the first week, you can still join in the second week. And then you can move into, their words. Email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. Because what I was trying to say is our next food market with the Montgomery Food Bank is coming up. And we always need volunteers for that. Especially since this is the one that I can't go to. I have other commitments that Saturday. So, all right. That's what I know. Here's where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanting day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, a stay warm day. We're enjoying the cooler weather. A getting stuff done day, hey, it's Monday and be excited about it day. Unless you're listening to this in another year and on another day. But a good day. And if that's too much pressure, simply have a day because you are enough just as you are. I like to remind you that you are a beloved child of God, but you are also a divine spark. You are a godling. You are an amazing consciousness. You are you. So, take that and, I'm changing my words and then I screw them up. So, all right. And it's okay. It's all right. I am who I am and I know that. Know who you are. All right. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented. You are a divine spark. You are a brilliant light. You are a loving presence. So, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.